My name is Trillia Newbell. I live in the Nashville area, and my typical day is not typical. In other words, what I mean is it doesn't look the same every day. So a typical day, in the summer especially, I will get up and I will make breakfast for my family, and then my kids and I will decide whether we're gonna play all day or outside, and sometimes we'll have play dates, and then my husband comes home and we all go out for a walk or do something fun. So it's just really normal and ordinary, and I love it. I seek to be intentional in building relationships in my local church. So I'm focused there for relationship building, and the internet allows you to really talk to and develop relationships broader, but I have a heart for and desire to really focus in on my local church, and so that's where a lot of my core relationships are. When it comes to evangelism, I think the internet has made it sweet to be able to share the gospel more broadly. So I write and I will share in that aspect, but in my day-to-day, I'm talking to people in my grocery store. I travel, so even recently I had the chance to share the gospel with a man who was 73, I believe, and I remember him asking me, so I too can be born again? And I was like, yes, you can be born again. And it was a good reminder to me that everyone needs the gospel. And so it can be anywhere from when I'm traveling or when I'm just talking and walking around in my neighborhood. But I think it's really important that for me to build relationships locally, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to do that through just walking around in my neighborhood, the trails, just where I am. Recently, I had the opportunity to share the gospel with someone who wasn't a Christian. I was on a plane and he sparked up a conversation with me, and I'll be honest, I was struggling with, do I want to just put my earbuds in and ignore this? But I knew in my heart that the Lord was calling me to die to myself and to engage and be friends with my new neighbor. And when he started talking, he explained to me that he had grown up and seen a lot of hypocrisy and abuse in the church. And so he had a bad taste in his mouth about what the gospel was. He didn't know what the gospel was because he had been really shared a works-based gospel. And when I started talking to him, he had started dabbling in different religions, and I got to tell him about grace. I got to tell him that if we confess our sin, he's faithful and just to forgive us, and he will purify us. And I shared with him that it is by grace that you've been saved. If you put your faith and trust in the finished work of Jesus Christ and repent and turn and believe, then you will be saved. And I remember he kept asking me, but what do you need to do? What do you need to do? And I would say, well, put your faith and trust in the finished work of Jesus Christ and believe. And it was that moment that I realized that the man was 73, I believe, that everyone needs the gospel, and that we cannot assume, even for a minute, that people are Christians just because for my context, maybe you're in the Bible Belt, or we can identify culturally as Christians, but no, they need the real gospel. And I was grateful for that opportunity to share the real Jesus with him.